As an entrepreneur, you need to always be on the lookout for new revenue opportunities. You may go into the market looking for this specific area, and then this other thing comes up, and all of a sudden you're intrigued by it, and you take a look at it, say, I can do that. I can make some money doing that. And you run the numbers on it, and sure enough, you can. Always be on the lookout for new revenue opportunities. A lot of entrepreneurs, they shift their focus from this market to this market because it's so much more profitable in the process. So always keep your eyes open. Always be on the lookout for new opportunities. So that being said, I'm going to give you two examples of things that I've seen in the marketplace. And they're relatively simplistic, except for the fact I want to illustrate the main point. And here is the main point. Always be aware of what your market looks like and who you're out there. Myers Thrifty Acres started out in the Midwest. It actually has now expanded into 9 states. They're looking at expanding all the way into 13 states. It really will be coming towards the West Coast eventually by the time it's all done. The stores are physically huge. That's why they originally called it Myers Thrifty Acres. Now it's just Myers. Okay, so that being said, if you can imagine one of the largest Costco stores in the area and then adding 25 to 40% more size, that is how physically a typical Myers store is. They also have their own series of different small affiliates that they have that are own separate companies with different LLCs or different corporations, and they have that whole process out there. They created an adult beverage supplement line. The shelves were stocked. They use the typical computerized cash register. So when the item goes through the cash register, it scans the code in it, it registers it, ding, 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 it rings it up, but it also tracks the inventory, how much is sold. Typically, the store would send out an order on a Sunday, and they would receive the order on a Tuesday and stock the shelves either Tuesday night or the wee hours of Wednesday morning. The problem that you face in retail is that an empty shelf generates no sales. Once a week often isn't enough. We're talking about adult beverage supplements such as a margarita mix or some kind of cocktail mix in the powdered form. There's no alcohol in it, but you mix it with an alcohol beverage plus a mixer of some kind, and you sit down and have a really good tasting beverage. So they had a good product, but the shelves were often bare until the new order arrived, and they don't sell anything. A third-party vendor that already had his sales workers going into all the Myers and stocking things on the shelf. They were an alcohol vendor. They had salespeople in the store stocking the shelves 6 days a week. They noticed on a regular basis how often the dry powdered drink mix, the shelves were empty. So they proposed a deal. The powder was manufactured by the Meyer subsidiary. So he says, okay, I got a deal. Here's my deal. And this is an outrageous deal, but this is the point. Keep your eyes open. I'll buy your product from your vendor, and my guys that are going to be here 6 days a week, they're going to stock the shelves. And I promise you, revenue will go up. He took a risk. It's a scary risk. It's a pretty safe one because of the fact that empty shelves for 1 or 2 days, they don't generate sales. So the supplement company, they push back. Oh, no, we're Myers. We don't want anybody buying our product but Myers. Myers. They had the Myers chew going and everything else. They overcame that. They caught the deal. By the time it was done, Myers had the shelves fully stocked on a daily basis and now sells 35% more product, the product they produce, their subsidiary, because a third party outside of their system is actually stocking the shelves, and the shelves are full. So everybody won. The third-party vendor, they negotiated a great price with the Myers subsidiary. Okay, so they got a big discount. They got a big piece of the pie. Myers retail made a lot more money because they're selling 35% more product. And the supplement company, Myers, got 35%. And on top of that, the consumers that wanted a good, when they wanted it, got to buy it because the shelves were stocked. Everybody won because you had the vision of one entrepreneurial manager paying attention to what's going on in the world out there. Another one, Daniel's Window Cleaning. It's just a small operation. Once upon a time, Daniel had 7 people working for him. So he sat down there and he had to deal with all the different problems, the people calling in sick and everything. And he had a workers' comp claim that just drove him absolutely crazy because sometimes the windows are on the second floor. You put a guy on a ladder on the second floor, he falls off, you're liable and for workers' comp. He just basically shrank his company down to him and another guy. But he still wanted to increase his revenue without expanding right about now. He may expand later, he says, but that being said, so we talked about this, and pretty much Daniel cleans our windows. So that being said, he does on-site cleaning windows. So he decided to expand into gutters. I wanted to have my gutters cleaned. He says, well, I do that. Okay, well, Daniel, you should have told me that. Okay, also, what about solar panels? Says, Daniel, I have solar panels. They've been up for 3 years. I've never been a good homeowner and cleaned them. Can you clean them for me? Well, yeah, I can do that. Okay, so now Daniel sits there, he's going to clean my solar panels for me, and that monkey is off my back, and I have a competent guy doing it because I don't want to get up on my 2-story roof to clean the solar panels. So he's going to do it for me and charge me a fee. He wanted to go into power washing, and he says, by the way, you have moss on your roof. Huh? Moss? He says, sometimes tile roofs over the years, they'll generate a whole layer of moss on top of it. Some of it you can see and some you can't. But look at this, he pointed out the moss on the roof. So sure enough, Daniel's going to come back. He's going to clean my solar panels. At the same time, he's going to power wash my roof tiles on top of my roof. He's making money. I'm avoiding a potential problem because those little roots of the moss, they look cute and everything else, except for the fact that they can go in and start damaging the tile because it's clay tile over a long period of time. So that being said, he's going to remove the moss buildup. And I want to also power wash my sidewalks and the walls on top of that. Okay, he does that too because he's going to come out with the power washer. Oh, and by the way, I says, why don't you think about the idea of adding solar panel inspections to your inventory? That's a good idea. I said, when you're up there washing them, take a picture of the component, especially if you see something not right. Take a picture of it. And then why don't you do this as well? Add solar panel repairs. You sit down there and have a contractor that does that and take 15% for sending somebody to them. And then, by the way, if you see a new electric vehicle in the driveway, say, by the way, we also sit down, we can install additional solar panels in the process. So all of a sudden, Daniel is out there and he's had a window cleaning business, but now he's got a window, solar panel, gutter, sidewalk, and also a solar reference agency in the process. He's got 5 different things in the hopper and he's making money each one of them, all with having the same stop, same number of clients, and he can sit down and have opportunity to easily more than double his income because he's looking for new revenue opportunities. Always keep your eyes open. You're always out there looking what's going on in the marketplace because something out there can capture your attention, and also that of your customers that you may already have, and give them a brand new service or a brand new product. Take care.